I'm just trying to human. Hey y'all, welcome back to Falling Off Curbs. I'm your host, Kat, and I am so glad that you're back. Today's episode, we are going to talk about, you know what, y'all, I'm going to talk about something that has been um, hitting me upside my head for the last several weeks. And it's a little bit of not entertaining myself, and it's a little bit of unlearning some echoes. So we're just gonna go down this rabbit hole. Y'all walk with me. As usual, grab a seat, a snack, whatever feels right, and let's go. So you all, I try my very best to be a be a better person, to learn, to understand myself. Of course, y'all know I'm going to say understand my becoming, my human experience. And the more I understand me, the more I can understand the people who are around me, the world around me, both the world in my like nucleus, my children, my parents, my friends, the world at large, give or take some things. But I think self-awareness helps perspective. And when you have perspective, you can be a better person. So I'm trying. Now, over the last several weeks, I have not felt like myself. I haven't felt like I know anything. Um, not that I know everything. I do not know everything. But I have felt very out of sorts. Typically I am pretty again aware of where I am in my life, what's going really, really great, what is fine, what is some hole that I need to deal with. Um, and I'm aware of it all, and it's fine. It's not overwhelming. It doesn't seem unfixable. Things are actually fine. Like it's okay. I have a vision of my world. I can see it clearly. I see my world around me clearly, and it's fine. I'm walking through it. Uh, the last, I don't know, maybe it's been since, goodness gracious, sometime around December. I don't know if it was mid-December. Time is hard, y'all. Sometime in the last month and a half, I lost it. I felt like I lost myself. I lost what I thought I knew. And it wasn't I won't say it was a struggle. It was more like I felt like I was wandering or aimlessly, um, because I didn't feel like I was going anywhere. And I know in a previous episode I talked about how we are conditioned by society to feel like we always have to be doing something or going somewhere or achieving a thing. I don't mean it in that context. I mean it just in the, when you know in yourself, this is the road I'm on. This is my journey. This is my normal life. Nothing big, nothing crazy. Just the normalities, of life. I felt like that wasn't there anymore. So my brain, again, I know I talked in a previous episode about me and ADHD. And I don't know if this has anything to do with ADHD or not. But my brain, I process things in my brain with pictures. I have very vivid dreams, you all, and maybe this is a part of it. But everything that I learn and I understand, my processing happens in pictures or movies or images in my brain. And so let me see if I can set this up. I was born and raised in this particular county. Well, not born, I was raised in this particular county for almost all of my life. I think I spent 2 years outside of this county that I currently live in. But all of it, my formative years, my adolescence, and a lot of my adulthood in this particular county. I know this county, this particular locality inside and out. I'm never lost in this county. There may be a new neighborhood that's been built, a street that's been extended, a new street that's been added, but I'm never lost in this county in real life. I can go anywhere, right? I felt like I was in a new county, in a whole new neighborhood. that I was not familiar with. It was almost like people were even driving on the other side of the road. I couldn't figure it out, y'all. I could not figure it out, and I felt again like I was wandering, um, walking towards something, but not unsure, just completely unsure about what it was, where I was going, what I was doing. I was not at peace. I was still in a place of peace. I was still had, abundant amount of joy. I just didn't like not knowing. I know everyone can understand that feeling of not knowing. We do have a human thing to know. All of us, even children, because it's a human thing. And so I had to like sit with it. I had to do inventory of what I knew, and what I know, and then what I thought I knew, and what I think I know. And what happened was I realized that one, I had been entertaining myself for quite some time, y'all. And then two, I had built a world or I was trying to build a world based on some old things. But let me start with the entertaining of self. When I say entertaining self, that phrase came from my illustrious mother, um, and she was just talking about some things she was like processing and our normal everyday talks that we just have randomly while we're sitting around in the house. And she was going on about how it just hit her. The Lord was like, you got to stop entertaining yourself, kid. And so it just became a thing that we use. It's perfect for this because what does it mean? I don't mean, when we're watching TV or we're on Al Gore's internet or social media. Yes, those are forms of entertaining and entertaining ourselves with the entertainment of other people. I mean the entertainment that comes as self-deception. I'm talking about the lies or the half truths, the twisted truths, the out of context truths that we tell ourselves, not even the ones that people tell us, that we tell ourselves. And these things, we create narratives and we place ourselves at the center of that narrative, of course, because it is our life. And then we go with it. I think at some point we all should win an Oscar or a Tony. I'm terrible with the awards, folks. But an Oscar, an Emmy, a Tony, whatever the award is, the outstanding actor or actress of the movie of the year, of the whatever is, insert your name, insert my name. I realize that this may sound weird because, well, who else would be the main character of my life? Of course, it's going to be me. The problem is I'm running my life in a Hollywood set at this point. It feels real. Quick tangent. I was watching Guys Grocery Games last night, and for whatever reason, it came up between me and my mom. And we're like, "Is this a real grocery store? I wonder if they filmed this show in a real grocery store." And so I got on, of course, Al Gore's internet, and I looked it up. And no, they have a set. It's a custom built set. I think it's like a little over 15,000 square feet in Los Angeles that is set up like a real store. It's even run like a real store. I think it said like inventory is taken every day. People stock the shelves, all that good stuff. And then it just, it's the show is filmed there. That's what I was sitting there processing where I was or what I knew or what I thought I knew or no, I don't know, y'all. That's kind of how it was shown to me. And all of the things that used to work, I had pulled them from my past, and not the far past, not like 10 years ago. I mean, just the yesterdays of the day. And I had pulled all of this material from the past. Good material, you all. I'm not talking bad material, poor lumber, like really good material from the life that I was living. And I tried to build myself a set and go with it. And I know this may not make any sense. I'm sorry if it doesn't, but again, my brain pictures this. It's a picture. And then suddenly it didn't work. It wasn't working anymore. And I realized because before it wasn't a custom built set, it was real life. life all around me. Again, the good, the bad, the ugly, the right, the wrong, the indifferent, but it was real. It was reality. It wasn't a farce. It wasn't me taking bits and pieces of realities of the past that were really good and, maybe not so great in some instances. You take the good, the bad with the good, right? But then I was creating a world for myself and I didn't like it. I kept telling myself, it's okay. Like, no, this is fine. We're just in a new space. You know, stages and ages and transformation and learning and development. And it's okay. This place is just new. It's a new place. And just like think of it as grades. You're in ninth grade, and when you first get to ninth grade, it's all new and unfamiliar and can be a little bit scary. And then you're in it. Like you're learning the ninth grade things. By the time you get to the end of ninth grade, you are good. You are a solid ninth grader. And then you get to 10th grade and you start all over again with what fresh hell is this? You start all over. Life is but um, a bunch of start overs, which is cool to me. Even us waking up in the morning is us technically starting over. So just quick thing out to throw out. Never be afraid to start all over, y'all. We do it anyway. So just keep doing it. Life is very iterative. Go with it. Um, but I created this thing that I didn't like, and I was trying to keep myself okay in it, and old used material that no longer worked, and then suddenly I just stopped. I just sat down because I was so wildly uncomfortable in a set that I built. Y'all, how insane is that? I built my own set and was horrified and wildly unfulfilled in it. This is very recent to you all. Again, we're talking like the end of this past year, beginning of this current year. Like we haven't even gotten fully into the second month of the year of our Lord 2025, and here we are. So in that very short period of time, the gray space between the world that I was living in, which was really quite normal, and this world that I created, I don't know, dare I say, to preserve whatever I thought I was needing to preserve. I don't know. That short amount of time, just a few weeks, this happened. And of course, y'all know I'm always talking to the Lord in my head because, yeah, yep. And I feel like He said, why did you do that? All of the things that you have, all of the realities that existed were real because they were based in reality. The blessings that you had, beautiful things, which I'm very, very grateful for the life that I have. Y'all, I really am very grateful. Anyone who knows me knows that when I start talking about gratitude, I will well up with tears instantly because such deep appreciation and gratitude for the life that I am able to live. Thank you, Lord. Um, so how did I go from no, that actually answered my own question just now, you all. Being so grateful and thinking what was could exist and be fulfilling in what is. Dragging something that was great and fulfilling into the now, it doesn't work. It was expired. And I was wildly uncomfortable with it because it wasn't real. What I learned is I had to unlearn the echo for everything that is said out. We all know what the echo is. You say something in a cave or in a place that has good acoustics, and it bounces back to you. And so much of what has been said, even the things that I have said to myself, right, in that self entertainment, whether they were truths or not truths, because we do lie to ourselves. I don't know if it's a human thing where 10 people can tell us that we are wonderful people, or we did a great job with this thing, or you can really sing, or right, you did so good and genuinely mean it. And then one person comes along and say, I mean, meh, it was okay. And we hold on to that one, the one, and we roll with it. And like, oh, it was terrible. Oh, what did I do? What can I do better? What can I? And it's so weird. I think we all do it at some point in our lives in some way, and it's just what it is, the human experience. So all of that too, all of that having been gone forward, and then come back to me. And I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Not because necessarily it was bad, y'all, but because it wasn't real. It wasn't tangible. It was the farce, the narrative in my mind. It was the production, the Hollywood production, the custom built set. I'm trying to manufacture the light of the sun in a warehouse instead of just walking outside. How did I get there? I don't know. I have no idea. I wish I could pinpoint a thing that happened or some event, big or small, that made me decide I wanted to walk into the Hollywood warehouse and build a custom set. Y'all, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know I was on a set. I didn't know I was building it myself. I don't know. It's a wild thing that happened, but suddenly I was aware that I didn't like it and I wasn't fulfilled. And I've been a lot of things, y'all, but being fulfilled is something that I, again, very grateful that I've typically felt often in my adult life, fulfilled and satisfied, even when things like all hell is broken loose. There is purpose. I am in it. I am learning. There's fulfillment. And even more so once I've learned it and I'm on the other side of the thing, feel fulfilled, feel satisfied, feeling good. So, in realizing that this was an echo, um, coming back, because it sounds like I'm doing my best, you all, to describe what I see in my head. Again, back to the echo. Someone says something and then it comes back. But when it comes back, it still sounds like that person is still right there talking, but it's a voice of the past. It is everything from the past that I used, again, good and bad, mostly good, to build something for my now. And it just doesn't work. It expired. And that scared the crap out of me when that realization hit me. That's scary because how did I get here? How did I wind up doing this? This isn't something that I had done before. I don't recall a time in my life where I've tried to create a narrative in this particular way, right? Building something to preserve something of myself. I don't know. And so I sit here now at being able to have this conversation or conversation, it's just me talking, folks, but understanding it was me trying to preserve who I was because who I am is different than who I was, even just over the course of those few weeks. I don't fit in that box. That old girl, right? That cat that was no longer serves me. And I wanted desperately to remain with her. I wanted desperately to be her because she's cool and she's strong and she knows what she knows and she knows what she doesn't know and she's okay with the things she doesn't know. And you know what I mean? Like I feel like I had my life under some type of stable control. And so I was okay there. And as much as I talk about growth, y'all, sometimes I forget that I do have to grow too and how it feels. And it's been uncomfortable before, but typically it is the growth spurt of uncomfortability with me has been because something major has happened, like an actual life event, like my youngest girl human being born at 26 weeks, or separation and divorce, or new house, or whatever. Like an actual thing has happened, an event has taken place, and has caused me to, for a lack of a better word, metamorphosis, to transform, to grow out of the old cat into the new one. Um, I hate spiders, so I don't know why I am even using this example, but when spiders molt and they like shake out of their old skin, it's so disgusting. But that's the thing that I came up, goodness gracious. Or better yet, reptiles. When they shed their skin, and some of it comes off and some of it they can peel off, and the other bits of it they have to rub against something hard to peel the rest of it off, all the while very conscious of needing to get the old skin off. It wasn't like that this time for me. Right. I'm aware when it happens that way, when I'm growing out of myself into my new self. And I have to pull some of the skin off myself, or some of it comes off by itself, just naturally. Others I have to pull off, and others I have to rub up against something major, right? Maybe it's that life event that I'm talking about. None of that happened this time, y'all. There was no major event. It just the molting just started happening, and then I was new, and I had so often um, attached a new such big growth to an event that I didn't realize what was happening. And so here I am talking through it, still trying to figure it out, but understanding that the one thing I cannot do is used things that are expired. I can't use I can't use an expired cat or an expired thinking or thought process, expired words, expired ways of expression, expired anything. It's a whole new world. Um, and let me be clear, I'm not talking about not understanding how to continue um, knowing what you didn't know. I know what I know. I know the experiences that I've had. I know the lessons that I have learned, and those things will always be applicable. Like when you learn one plus one is two in first grade, one plus one still equals two when you're doing high school calc or college calculus. One plus one is always going to be two. So not those very foundational things that just make life life and make cat cat, right? I'm not a crazy like well, a little bit sometimes. Not those things. I'm not getting rid of foundational truths that I know. I'm just a new person. Um, and I also realized for the first time there is no neighborhood. I have no visual of what it is, of what place I am in, which y'all freaks me out. I am very type A. I like rules because they tell me what I can do and what can I cannot do. I like it. I'm a policy girl. Give me the law, tell me the rules, regulations, what's the governance? Do tell me because I like the framework. I like framework, y'all. I like structure. I like a structured life. Have lots of fun in the structured life, but a structured life. And so this new space that I am in with this new cat. And I hate to sound cliche, but it feels very new to me, for me, in me. None of that works. None of the old stuff works. And so I have no neighborhood, not even a new neighborhood. I have no neighborhood. And I have to learn to be okay with that. Per usual, I'm gonna always take it back to what I believe to be true in my faith. And faith isn't necessary if you know what's going to happen. I don't have to trust the Lord if I already know what's going to happen. I think of faith as a currency. My mom talks about this all the time. Faith is a currency. And we all have faith in something or another. I've heard even folks who don't have a higher deity that they believe in, whether it's God or someone else. And trust me, let me say this, y'all, we all have a God, even if we put ourselves as that God. So don't think that you don't. Be careful, be aware, be aware. And I'm saying that because sometimes I elevate myself as my own God, and nope, no ma'am, it goes horribly wrong every single time for me, for me. But um, every time this happens, I find myself in a place that I thought I knew. I don't know. We're talking about faith. Here we go. I don't know it, and use. I have to cash in my faith. I have to cash in the trust that I have and the relationship that I built with the Lord. And He's never failed me, like never, ever failed me. And so while before there was always a neighborhood, there was always a setting, an environment that I was able to be in, even if this setting or environment or neighborhood, the proverbial mental neighborhood that I can see in my brain that I am walking through and getting to know, it was something. It was something I could see. It was something I could touch. It was something I can feel. And now there's nothing. And so my faith requires me to trust that even if I don't see it, it's there. Even if I don't feel it, it's there. It's always going to be there. And I don't need to see it. I think that's the new part of me. I'm learning I don't need to see it for something to be real. And I don't need to create something myself to so that I feel comfortable with feeling something or seeing something or being able to touch something. I don't need to take the echoes and build anything. I can just be in the now where there isn't anything for me to see. And I can just walk. And I can trust that God knows exactly where I'm going and where because he's taking me there and I just go with it. It's a very wild feeling, you all. It's not something that I can remember having had to do before in this way, again, without some major event. It happened when my small human was born early. I didn't know what the heck was going to happen. She was tiny. She was like a pound, 2 ounces, got down to like 8 ounces at one point. I mean, goodness gracious, the folks in the NICU were beautiful, wonderful people. And when she was out of it, they told us how sick she actually was. Like, baby girl was actually very, very close to death. That's a fighting little somebody. If you know my small human, you'll know what I mean. She's a spicy little character. That's my girl though. Um, but I didn't know what was going to happen in that instance either. That was completely new for me. But there was something that I could hold, like an event actually happened. So, and I could see the progress. I could see the development because I watched the small human go through the surgeries and get bigger and stronger and thicker and fill out. And now I have a almost 7-year-old running around here spending all my money. So I could see the progress. Um, I don't see it. I don't feel it. But I have to know that if I'm gonna let God be God, I gotta let him be God. I gotta go with it. And I gotta trust him, not me. Trust him and put my faith currency there and go and realize it's okay that I don't need to build a set. I don't need to have a visual. I don't need to know. I don't have to have the answer. It is not a prerequisite for my life to be okay, for my life to be good, for my life to be freaking fantastic. Me knowing it's not the fantastic life that I currently have wasn't predicated on me knowing because last year or the year before that or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I could have never imagined this life. So what the heck do I think I can do it now for? I've learned to be okay with the unknown. I've learned to be okay with it and to just trust God. Because what's the point of having a relationship if I don't trust him? What is the point? I might as well just trust me. And good Lord, no. Nope. Nope. Not a great idea. So I don't know, y'all. I felt so urged to just do this particular podcast this way. I don't have an answer. I don't have anything. And maybe other people are going through it too in some way or have and can nod their head like, yep, yeah, I remember that. Or, that's interesting. Or may go through it later in life. I don't know. But y'all know that's the point to connect and to hear and be heard and grow and understand and, figure it out. I really am just trying to human. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes I make it hard. But but it is. It is. And I'm okay with it is at this point. So I don't know where we're going. I don't know where I'm going. I know that I'm going and I know it's going to be great. So if you felt this way at some point, know it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Just just go with the ride. Ride with it. All that being said, as we wrap up, I think we are living in some scary times sometimes. Um, no one knows in real life. No one knows. Excuse me, what's going to happen next. Um, be okay with that. and know what you know. Be okay with what you don't know. Give yourself grace. Give yourself kindness. Give yourself gentleness. Keep going. Just keep going, y'all. Take a break when you need to, but get back up and keep going because I am. And so let's go together, right? So, thank you all again for always listening. Share if you feel like it's something that someone else you know may understand, may be able to relate to, have experience, maybe currently experiencing. And of course, always feel free to leave a message or review. Tell me I'm crazy. It's okay. Whatever it is, just remember that it's okay to not know. It's okay to be curious. It's okay to keep going. So until then, you all stay kind, stay curious, and keep going. I'm just trying to human.